Hey guys, first regardsman here, and I'll be talking about a Power Axe Shield Bash build for the Bulwark class in Space Marine 2 patch 12.1. Now, the Power Axe is one of the strongest weapons in Space Marine 2 currently, maybe not as strong as the Power Fist, but still a top tier option, and the Bulwark Shield Bash build with perks like Concussive Force, Merciless Resolve, and Forward Momentum. These have been incredible options since they got buffed way back when. We'll be building around that today. Now, for my melee weapon, I did take the Block Power Axe, mainly because block charges do affect your shield bash on this build, and shield bashing is like 99% of what we'll be doing anyways, so a really good synergy there. Now for the perk tree here, we pretty much go all melee perks like any balanced or block version usually would go, but we start off with Perpetual Strength for 5% melee damage increase, moving into the perk Coup de Grace. The last strike of a light combo deals 25% more damage. Now on this build, you really don't use your light combos like at all, but we do pick this up because we do want Perpetual Strength first. It also helps us go into other perk options like Perpetual Strength and Perpetual Strength again for a 10% melee damage increase. Moving here to the perk Counterattack, down into the perk Riposte. Overhead strike damage after performing a power backstep is doubled. Now, this one is a very strong perk effect. Even on this build where we are usually shield bashing, it still helps us out a ton, so we do pick this up. And next perk here is Hard Target. While performing a light combo, you take 15% less range damage. Moving into the perk Tactical Retreat for more power backstep damage, because power backstep damage is just free damage in a lot of cases. And up here, Power Wave, it just makes it so our power backstep wave has a wider angle, which allows us to hit more enemies for full damage. So definitely pick this one up as well whenever you pick up the perk Tactical Retreat. The final perk here is Cleaver for a 10% melee damage buff against Majoris and higher enemies, because this is just kind of a catch-all against the enemies you want to damage the most, so definitely grab this one as well. That's pretty much all there is for the Power Axe tree. Now for the secondary weapon, I do take a heavy bolt pistol, mainly because I despise fighting Zoanthropes and Neurothropes with a plasma pistol, Neovolkite, or standard bolt pistol. The standard bolt pistol isn't like the worst option ever for this, but the heavy bolt pistol on the ammo reserve option, I think this one just makes my life 10 times easier, so I do prefer this. Though if you want to pick up a heroic variant of this, or even the plasma pistol up here, you can do that. That is up to you. Now for the perk tree on this, I do build it this way with Divine Might into Perpetual Penetration, increased capacity, extended magazine, Death Strike, which gives you a 25% buff for 10 seconds on a Majoris execute or melee kill, so a really good option here. Into the perk Great Might, Discipline for 25% more damage on low ammo, which is actually very substantial. And next perk is Strong Finish, Headhunter, Gunstrike Reload, and of course Tactical Precision. Headshots deal 20% more damage, and non-headshot damage it decreases by 10%, because headshot damage is still pretty much all that matters on any bolt pistol in the game, so definitely pick this up. And the main reason I skip over perks like Able Damage on this build is because the chapter banner does not come out remotely enough to take like full advantage of this perk, unlike things like Vanguard on the Grapnel or the Jump Pack on the Assault class. So that's pretty much the only reason I build it this way, and that's all there is for the secondary option. Now for the Bulwark perk tree, we just go for all the Shield Bash perks. Number 1, Forward Momentum. After a Shield Bash, Shield Rush, or Thunderhammer Pommel Smash, melee damage increases by 30% for 10 seconds. Now, this perk is a 30% additive melee damage buff, so not quite as good as like an Overcharge perk that's a 20% multiplicative damage buff, but still pretty damn strong here because you can reapply it over and over. And this one will apply simultaneously with the perk over here for another 15% buff on top of 10 seconds of no knockback. So a really good option here for us because we are using the Shield Bash. And if you're unaware, the Bulwark can animation cancel into a Shield Bash over and over again, because every single time you block with your shield, you will be able to just animation cancel whatever you're doing and immediately go back into another Shield Bash that you will see in the gameplay. The next perk here is Scramble Targeting for a 25% range damage reduction while surrounded by 5 or more enemies. This is just a free range damage reduction and by far the best option in this column. And the next perk here is Steel Within. When your health is less than 50%, you take 30% less health damage. DR in this game, or damage reduction, is incredibly potent in Space Marine 2, so definitely grab this one. I think this one's definitely better than the perk down here, Armor Reinforcement even, because with a base HP increase of 30% that the Bulwark has on his starting perk, your effective HP goes through the roof with this perk active as well. Next perk here is Focus Restoration. Every 30 seconds, all team members automatically restore 1 armor segment. This is just a God tier damage cap perk. The way that armor works in Space Marine 2 is that any incoming melee attack will do no damage no matter what, even from bosses, as long as you have any amount of armor remaining. And on top of that, even range attacks do have a bit of a damage cap from armor, so having a drip feed of this is very valuable and helps out a ton for teammates like the Tactical that don't have any base armor regen. Now, the next perk we take here is Purity of Purpose. The banner deals damage over time to enemies in this area of effect. This is just a value perk for your banner. The fact that this will pretty much wipe out Minoris, deal significant damage to Majoris, Extremis, and even bosses makes it the most valuable perk in this column. Rapid regeneration would be really good in this game if it didn't have like a reduction in your time on your banner. Hopefully they buff this one day, and the Concussive Force perk, or should be Focus Strength perk here, is just not very strong at all, even on a Shield Bash build, so I would definitely pick this up. Next perk here is Concussive Force. Shield Bash deals 200% more damage, Shield Rush deals 100% more damage, and your Thunder Hammer Pommel Smash does some extra stuff. It doesn't really matter for this build. Now, the Shield Bash dealing 200% more damage, that is the main takeaway of this perk. We are going for a Shield Bash build, so kind of a no-brainer to pick this one up, and the damage you put out with your Shield Bash with this perk active is tremendous. Next perk here is Merciless Resolve. After a Shield Bash, Shield Rush, or Thunder Hammer Pommel Smash, melee damage increases by 15%. You do not lose control from heavy hits, and you can't be knocked back for 10 seconds. This is a Shield Bash buff perk, like I said before, so we obviously take this. And on top of that, this is the main form of no knockback on this build, so definitely grab it for that reason alone. Final perk here is Defensive Mastery. A perfect time parry or block instantly incapacitates a Majoris or Extremis level enemy. The cooldown is 90 seconds. Now, since we do not have Intimidating Aura, having a parry insta-kill perk here is very nice for this build. And even though you have a 90-second cooldown on this, being able to auto-remove like a Lictor, Ravener, or Melee Terminator, that is top tier in this game and a very powerful option overall, so definitely pick this one up. Now, for the Prestige perk list, I do take Resilience first. Medicae Sims restore 40% more HP. On this build, you do not have Invigorating Icon or like any healing perk really, so having this does make your pickup economy for Sims far better. The next perk here is Overcharge. Held in charge attack damage increases by 20%. Like I said before, this is a 20% multiplicative melee damage buff for your power backstep, whirlwind attacks, and stuff like that. A really powerful melee perk in the game, probably the single strongest if I'm being honest, and I would pretty much always pick this up as well for that reason. The final two perks I grab are Powerful Shot for 20% bonus range damage and Masterful Defense, which says ability charge restored by 1% for every blocked range attack. This is one of the best CDR perks in the entire game, and pretty much any build that requires a shield or uses a shield in any way, you will pick this up on. And that is pretty much all there is for this build, guys. Now, I was rocking a Deathwing outfit here. I know it's not quite entirely accurate because we are not a Terminator, and maybe the color is like not tan enough, but I tried my best, okay? And that's pretty much all I have to say in this one. And if you want to ask me questions about the game or just come hang out, you can find me live here on YouTube or on Twitch with a link in the video description alongside a link to my community Discord. And as always, guys, thank you for watching. Take it easy. Bye. Yeah. God. It's never not satisfying. What is better, block, balance, or fencing? I think block and balance are just better than fencing right now, outside of like some niche scenarios, like the Argent Edge. I think the Argent Edge is probably the best fencing weapon in the entire game. One of the best weapons, period, in Space Marine 2, but majority of fencing weapons are not as good as the Argent Edge. Why is this Black Templar talking about Sanguinius? It's a mystery, really. Okay. Armor boost like that. I have a guide how to build it on my channel. Yeah, just type in like concussive force for shield bash bulwark, and you will 100% find it on this. But I'll make an updated one if you want. Why not? Maybe that will be the video somebody's watching right now. Who knows? God, dude, this thing just shits. Went to you into like a Karn effects fight. You can't do much. Say that. Relic.
The hive ships are moving into range of capability towers.
Oh. I get for alt tabbing for a second.
Subterranean Xenos below us.
Artifacts kill the shield bash only. Surprisingly easy. Hey, the Neuro Throw shield bash only, also surprisingly easy. The shield bash is just cracked, man. Like, I don't tell you. I mean, with the Neuro Throw, you just gotta wait for it to land. But, like, once it does, like hydrogen bomb versus coughing baby situation, you know? Okay. Whenever I use this build, I often find the missions go by very quickly. I wonder why that is. Couldn't possibly be that you just kill everything in like 2 seconds. Hell's Rig of the shield bash only. Okay, now that's like a weapon that surpassed Metal Gear. And that's the suggestion. Look at this. This is your horde clear. See, look, Neuro Throw, shield bash only. You asked, game will deliver. Fucking robbery. I fucking hate the lock-on system in this game.
This infestation has persisted for too long. We have to awaken the other consoles.
Friends, I also sat in the AoE. Definitely didn't help. I got shot in the face. There have been a disproportionate amount of ranged enemies in this game recently, though. I'll say that. I say all range reinforcements, not the most entertaining combo. Yeah, it makes it easier when it comes down to ground level. Figure it out. He's figured out my master plan. I thought that Ravener was unkind enough to just piss on the floor while I was doing that. Thanks, pal.
The hive mind loses another of its authority. We have to awaken the other consoles before we venture into the fortress.
Was no shield bash only, so not a valid try is true. We just shoot him one time. AI Director's the biggest troll in this game. It's been pretty bad recently. It has been.
Vessel detected. Sharing the divine blessings of the machine god. Attention, ministers. Communication with
One big brain boy versus one bashy boy. Well, you know, when the big brain floats down within, like, slam range, that's how you know.
We need to find and remove this material so we can leave this room.
Hey, FTG, do you have a Deathwatch outfit for a Raptor Sniper? Am I a known outfit crafter? Is that something I do? I guess it is, but no. I don't have that. Yes, the very angelic Black Templar host.
These alien vines suffocate the generators. Let us rectify this. This is not the outgrowth. We need to find and remove the spores.
Actually comical how effective this is.
Communion established. Transmission of blessing has commenced.
All that brain still can't figure out the shield can't reach it when it's levitating. It's all part of, you know. The hive mind's not that bright, okay?
Vessel complete. Ministerial authority exit.
How many hours you got in Space Marine 2? At least one. At least, how long have you been streaming? 2 hours. We have at least 2 hours on this game. Whatever, leave that up.
Enemy reinforcements affirm the rally cry. Blessings extended to the slumbering unit. Awakening has begun. Demonstrate on the conflict during reawakening. This infestation has persisted for too long.
No, you fucking knew. See, he flew out. I knew it was coming. If he dies here, he's insta dies. They don't even. So if they're in like a gap like that and they get shot, or out of bounds technically, it will just insta die.
We have to awaken the other consoles before we venture into the fortress. Another scene on fire. Vessel to console operation. Connection to core control established. Raise the on sign. We activated the consoles. We must open the door.
Just shield bashing down a hallway. Or staircase.
Ready to deploy. Captain Akaran, we are
SCG has 4 million hours? Yeah, that sounds like a reasonable amount of time and realistic.
And remind the Xenos of whom they dare to attack.
Okay. God, I got body blocked out of that. Come on, I just want the cipher. Get the fuck out of my way. I want this guy. Alright, fine, you hold that first. I don't think we ever found the sniper. You're rocking this build, my guy. Block Axe plus Bulwark, most busted setup in this game. And my favorite. This one is actually pretty interactive, so it is fun. I'm just gonna keep the Fight Wrath. Hopefully it gives me card effects. You often end up tripping the parry mechanic when you block cancel attacks. Looks so smooth in your end. Any tips? I mean, so when you're animation canceling on this, I'll make a video about this. I was actually gonna make that today anyways, but basically, you hold down the button, like make sure there's gotta be like a little delay between your bashes. You can't just spam it or like, well you can, but if you cut off if you animation cancel the bash too soon, you'll lose out on the damage. So you gotta like delay it a little bit. That would be the biggest tip. And make sure to hold down your shield button like properly, otherwise we're out. Alright, this one's not going to float down for me. Let's see, we play Bulwark and immediately double neuro throw. Bang, bang, bang. You may land at any time now. We'll allow it.
That lift will take us directly to the turrets and to the cannons.
Does the power axe have the highest shield bash damage in the game? Yes. So,
They are amassing at the fortress.
for multiple reasons. Number one, when you build up a block charge in this game, it's not just the shield bash damage itself, because that's take your weapon into account, but it's also the fact that the power backstep on the block axe, you can animation cancel the backstep portion immediately into a shield bash, and because of that, you're getting a ton of free extra damage on top of the staggers. Like, you're staggering them off the parry into your bash, plus the adrenaline surge charges going off, which is big W, as you may imagine.
Stand firm. We will not be intimidated, brothers. We must reach the fortress.
What's the best / most fun block weapon in the game? Block power axe and block power sword are very fun. I think both the block power sword especially benefits from the block because the power whirl mechanic, I don't think it's a very good mechanic of that block, to be honest, because you can't really stagger the enemies properly on it. You see how we're canceling out of our backstep immediately into this? That's just free damage.
You are near the last cannons. You will need to find the manual controls to operate them. We have found the control console for the cannons, Captain Nakaran.
Okay. I mean, we still have a stim if we need it, but we did let ourselves get shot in the face by the sniper of that first arrow throw. Go bash, go burr. Certainly does.
The turrets cannot stand against our attacks for long. The Hierophant attacks. Defensive positions. Bind your positions.
Alright. I love this boss. So fucking radical.
Attacks like that, and this abomination will fall.
Kind of hard to parry the Bulwark. If you're struggling to parry the Bulwark class, just double tap your parry key. Because like what's happening is you're misinputting your parry on Bulwark because you have a shield tied to the same key indefinitely. Just by like a force key binding. So if you don't exactly tap, you're gonna get a block instead and vice versa. So if you want to block on Bulwark, my number one tip would be hold down the button. Like you gotta commit to the button a little bit. And to parry, just double tap your parry key. I've heard some people say like that can get you, like, you know, that can disrupt some things. Like the amount of things that double tapping your parry can disrupt, like almost negligible in this game. And usually you aren't going to use it there anyways.
Truly a blighted miasma.
Generator is running. The cannons are ready. The Hierophant attacks. Defensive position.
System no longer detected. Engage console to reestablish communion between the fortress and service car. Service car detected. Synchronization complete. Cannons ready.
Brothers, it retaliates. More attacks like that. And this
Seems hard to cancel on controller. I mean, that's the same input, but not really.
our enemy's assault.
There's only 2 buttons.
Press the attack. This monstrosity, the Hierophant attacks. Defensive positions. Mind your positions.
Oh. like this. That's like the only thing that's done serious damage to this little spot. Is that fucking green goo. I made a relic, but that was a tragedy.
Refill them with energy from the generators. Brothers, it retaliates.
Ah, yes. So, like, remind me, how the fuck were they supposed to recharge the generators without Astartes here? Like, who are they asking? Did they just line up, like, 20 servitors to start, like, pulling? Or, like, rolling the wheel? I didn't even worry with the melted bomb. Congratulations. You were chosen.
The auxiliary generators shall nourish our cannons. The Hierophant attacks. Defensive positions.
Depends where. Thing.
Engage the auxiliary generators and reawaken the cannons.
Are the shield bashes considered charge attacks, or they benefit from overcharge? The shield bash itself doesn't. I'm pretty sure shield rush does, because this is a held attack. How can you shield bash that fast? Is there a trick? Yeah, use animation cancel every shield bash. Shield bash. So like every time I shield bash, I just hit my block key again and attack. So bam, bam. That easy. It's not very hard input. It's technically the hardest input in the game outside of like animation canceling on the assault now, but it's really not that bad. For this game, it's pretty hard, I guess. But
System link has been established.
the shield bash spam is so funny to me. I don't know why, because your guy carries an entire melee weapon in the battle and then just uses the shield the whole time. Pretty comedic. A perish. Yeah. What a beautiful weapon, right? Favorite class, hands down. A lot of people's favorite class. Quite good. Okay. I feel like Bulwarks are just playing an entirely different game. I mean, pretty much. The class discrepancy is pretty high between Bulwark and most classes, but it's also just because he has more mechanics going on top of that, like shield bashing, blocking, rushing. Every class should feel like that. The only one that feels comparable right now is Assault, in terms of like how dynamic they are. Yeah, 52,000 melee damage. A reasonable amount.